Hi friends, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. My project today, I have two things. The first one is this, it's a milk carton box, but it flips open like this, so it's kind of like a flip top. And inside is a large, now this is the size from, I didn't get this from Lush, but I looked it up and this is the same size as the ones from Lush. All right, so this will fit a big one in. But also, a lot of people sell the small ones. You can put it in there. It will make a little noise in there. So if you just pop a little bit of tissue paper in there, it'll be good. But I wanted to make it good for both sizes in case, because you never know what you're going to get when you go out. I know. So that's what we're going to be making with this. And of course, I used the Pansy Patch stamp set, the Pansy Petals DSP, and the excuse me, the Pansy dies, which I'm going to show you how to put together when we do the 3x3 card at the end. It's just a simple little 3x3 card, but if you can see the difference in the size, let me put it like this, of the two pansies. This one I cut out with this die here from the DSP, which is right here. Now you can cut the big one and the little ones. Here's one of the little ones that I did. See, with using this die and this die, you can cut it out. But it's much smaller than the one you put together with all the pieces, which I'll show you how to do, and the leaves. Alrighty, but we're going to do the box first. So if you want to see the card only, it's going to be towards the end of the video. Okay? Alrighty, so we're going to start, for this box, we're going to start with a piece of Bumblebee Cardstock, which is different than what I used, but I don't know where I got this piece of paper. This must be an old color, but it's pretty close. And this actually matches the paper better, the Bumblebee. Okay, so we need a piece that is 10.5 by 8.5. So all you have to do is just cut a 1/2 inch off of the length of an 8.5 by 11. Alrighty. I'm going to get my Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 10.5 inch side. And we're going to score a 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. Alrighty, and then we're going to move to the 8.5 inch side, and we're going to score at 2, 4.5, and 6.5. And then I'm just going to fold and burnish. I started out wanting to put this one on the box, but it was just too big. So I decided I would make a little 3x3 card because I really wanted to show you, because it's kind of confusing, the dies, all the little pieces and how they go on. It took me about 4 hours today to figure out all this stuff, so. I wanted to do it. Sometimes I'll do a video and not film it till the next day or 2 days after. Not a good idea because I forget things. Alrighty. Okay, so now we have the long skinny rectangle on the right hand side, and it closes in like this. So that's how it is on the right hand side. And then you have a 2-inch strip on the bottom. This one is 2.5, and then 2 2-inch strips on the top. That's how we're looking at it right now. All right, and this is what we want to do. All right, so we're just going to take, out of the skinny rectangle, we're going to take the top and bottom skinniest rectangles off there, and then wedge the middle. And then we're going to take off these 3 rectangles at the top. Okay, so that, because that makes this flip right here. Okay. Alrighty, so we're starting with the skinny rectangle on the right hand side. We're going to take the bottom one off and wedge up. And then we're going to go to the top rectangle. We're going to wedge below to the middle. Or you could just flip it around, which would be easier. And then we're going to cut off that piece of the rectangle. So that's what it looks like. Okay. And then we're just going to cut these pieces on the bottom apart. You can cut out the score line if you like to, but I'm just going to trim it off if it sticks out afterwards on the bottom. Okay, so that's all we did for the bottom. We just separated it all. Now we're going to flip it around so that the skinny rectangle is on the left-hand side. And all we're going to do is we're going to keep this rectangle right here, just cut that straight, and then we're going to remove these three. Now you can do this in your trimmer if you want. Okay. And that's what it looks like after we're done cutting. Alrighty. So now we need our tear and tape, and I'm just going to put it on the skinny rectangle close to the score line. And then I'm going to fold this over and fold this to meet it. Okay, so now this is going to be our back where the flap is. So on the bottom, this is going to be the front flap. So this is where I want to put some more tape. Okay. And these are the side flaps. I'm going to put some on the one that's on the back also, just because it's kind of heavy, the bath bomb. So I'm just going to put it on the one that's opposite the front. And just always remember that the back is the one with the flap on it. Just because it's good, kind of heavy in there. All right, so now we'll do the sides. This piece has the flap, so this is my back flap. Oops, so I'll take care of that one first. And then the front flap last. And they won't meet all the way over. That's how I got the length without having to use a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. All right, so then just flip it over and make sure that you press down on the inside there. Okay. Now what we want to do, and I'm going to use the biggest one, is put what you want in. My goddess, juniper and musk. All right, now this can get a little dicey. What you want to do is leave the flap up, push with your pointer, and then we're going to squeeze with our middle finger and our thumb, and we want to make sure that the sides stay nice and bent, that it doesn't come up a little bit. So just do it slowly and just kind of guide the middle in. Alrighty, and there we go. That's our box, and you could just work the sides a little bit to make sure they stay. Now it's not going to stay without the Velcro at first. All right, it might eventually after it's been sitting closed a while. But that's basically our box, and it fits that bath bomb very nicely. Okay, so now we need our DSP. Okay, so we need two pieces that are 2 1/4 by 1 3/4, and that's going to go on the flap and the back of the flap. Okay, and we need 4 pieces that are 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and then they're going to go all around the sides. Alrighty, so I'm just going to glue these all up and put Okay, so now all our paper is on. And we're ready to put our Velcro dots on. Now I bought the Velcro dots at Walmart.com. They don't have them in my store. And these are the 3/8 inch dots. All right, so I'm gonna put one in each corner of the top. And then I'll put the matching one on top of it with the sticky side toward me. Okay. And then just make sure that everything is nicely square and everything's in the right spot. And just push down on the top so that this goes down right. And then you can get it all nice and snug right where it should be. Alrighty, so now that is our finished box. Now we just have to do the decorating. Alright, now I cut from the same DSP, I cut a piece of the Fresh Freesia gingham with the layering circle dies, and this is 2 1/8, and then a basic white scallop that's a little bit bigger. And then I took this die from Pansy dies. Yep, just plain Pansy dies. And I cut roughly around the pansy, and then I cut it out perfectly, just like that. Okay. Alrighty. So that's how I got that. Alrighty, so we're just going to glue these together. Then I'm going to take a small hole punch and I'm just going to put, this is our tag, so I just put a little hole right in the top, and then I'm going to put dimensionals on there to attach it. And I just kind of put it right under the hole in the middle. Okay, and then I took from the Simply Elegant trim, I took the silver, and cut off about 9.5 inches, but it's give or take. This isn't too, you don't have to be too exact with this part. And I stuck it through the front and opened the loop and put the ends through it. Okay, so now we're ready for that. Now I took some Fresh Freesia open weave ribbon. I opened the carton and then closed it again with the ribbon inside. And I just tied a bow. So they don't even have to untie the bow at all. You just have to flip up the top. The bow will still stay there nicely. And the tag if they don't want to take it off. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, if you can see how I did that. See how it just goes right on the inside flap, and then they can just leave it there when they want it. And they open it. They don't have to worry about it having to retie it then. All right, now on this one, I did stamp a little sentiment. The little things you do make such a big difference. That's from the Pansy Patch stamp set, and I use Fresh Freesia ink. But I forgot to do it on this, and there's dimensionals, so This one won't have a greeting, but I can write a little something to who I'm giving it to. All right, so now that's ready, and I'm just going to tie this on the middle of the bow and tie another bow in silver. If you don't want another bow on top, you could just cut them short after you secure it. Oopsie. Okay, there we go. Is this one longer here? This one's a bit longer. All right, so that's that part. And then I cut, using the rectangle stitched dies, I cut the smallest, skinniest rectangle. And I'm going to use the sentiment Love You Much from the same stamp set. And I'm going to put it over to the right. Excuse my head. Good. I cut one out. It's easier if you stamp it first, thank you, Danette, and then cut it out with the die, but I didn't want to have to waste your time waiting for me to do that. So then I just kind of sized where I wanted it, and I think I'll cut it right there. So I cut it to about, yep, 2 inches. And then I just glued it on. And I put it right on the bottom. I went over to the side of the box, but I made sure that there was some of the DSP below too. Okay, and then for the final touch on this, I used some of the In Color Gems. I put my last yellow one, I have to order some more of these, on the middle of the pansy. And then I put two, well, I guess I put large ones, but I'll put 2 small pink ones, polished pink, right on the edge of the sentiment. And I did add a little bit of Wink of Stella to the die cut. Okay, and that's it for our box. Not sure what to call it yet. I think I'll call it Pansy Petals Bath Bomb Flip Top Milk Carton. Alrighty. Okay, so now for the card. Now this is a lot of gluing, and I don't have the fine tip glue thing, so please bear with me. All right, so we need a lot of little bits. I have a yellow. Okay. All right, the first thing, we need a 6x3 piece of Blackberry Bliss, and I scored it at 3 inches to make our 3x3 card. We need 2 pieces of basic white that are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and we're going to put one inside and mat one on the outside. I cut a piece of the same packet of DSP to 2.5 by 2.5, and we'll put that right on there like that. Okay, and then these are all our pieces for our pansy. So let me just get this together first. Okay, so these are all the things we need. All right, let me explain here. Okay, so I used this piece here for the bottom of the pansy in basic white. You need 2 of the kind of seashells. I did them in fresh Freesia. You need 1 of this piece, and I did this in Blackberry Bliss, and 2 of this piece here, which will go on top of the seashells. Okay, and this piece will go right there, and then 1 of this, which is this one, it's going to go smack dab in the middle there. Okay. All right, so we need a silicone mat. Oh, and I got the leaves. I cut out 3 leaves, 2 small and 2 large, and they each have 2 pieces to go with them. Okay, all right, so let's start with the white piece and this piece, which is Blackberry Bliss. It's the outline. And I do wish I had my pinpoint glue, but we'll make do. All right, now this is just gonna go right along the edges of the white. Just like that. Good. I'm glad. Okay, now we need to attach these little frondy things to the end of the seashell ones. And they will match up too. There we go. Okay. All right, now, and what I did was I just modeled it after this one. You could do the other colors too, but I figured this would be the easiest for you to see on camera. All right, so now what we're going to do is glue these one on top of the other. Okay, just a little bit. So I'll put this right there. And then they're just going to overlap just a little bit. And you could sponge the edges of this one if you want with a little fresh Freesia to make it darker here where they meet. All right, and then this one is going to just come in and it's going to touch the edge of the other Blackberry Bliss, right like that. So we only need a little glue right on the top. Okay, just like that. Okay, and now we need our, I don't know what they call this, middle piece. And that's just going to go right there. Oops. Okay. And then all that's left is the little yellow piece. And it goes point up, I believe, right in the middle. Oh dear, stuck on me. That's one thing, that your hands get really gluey. But they are quite beautiful. I made this a little bit crooked. Oh well. Crooked, it has to stay for now. All right, I'm just going to put that to the side to dry, and now we can just do the leaves. All right, I'm going to put glue on the bottom of the back side of the lighter. This is Soft Succulent, and this is Evening Evergreen, I believe. I could be wrong on that one. I'm just going to put little dots of it all around. And then I'm just going to grab it with my tweezers. And this is a big one, so I'm going to put it on the big backing. Okay. And I'm just going to wipe a little bit. I got a little bit of glue on there. hopefully that'll dry. Alrighty, and then these two. Well, it's stuck to my finger, so let's go with that. Okay, now the last one. Okay, and that's the gluing for now. Alrighty. So, oh no, we gotta glue some more. So I'm going to take one smaller, oh, I did 2 smalls and a large, so it'll be different this time. Alright, I'll put the larger one in the corner here. Or maybe I'll put the larger one over here. And this one I used 2 large and 1 small. Okay. And then, you know what? I'm going to pop this up first, and then I'll stick these 2 under where I like them. I used a lot on this because it's pretty gluey and I didn't want it to bend out of shape. So I put 5. Okay, I'm just going to kind of center it. Okay, and then I'm just going to stick the 2 smaller leaves on the side, just inside there. You could pop the leaves up also if you wanted to. Make this a little bit over. This is going to hang over a little because I should have really put it down. Maybe I can rip this up. Yeah, okay. Alrighty. And there you go. That's how you put together the pansy, the big pansy from the pansy dies. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to purchase any of these products, they go live on May 4th. You can shop with me at the address at the top of the screen, katherineteeman.stampinup.net. And please, subscribe and hit the like button. I will see you next time. Thanks for coming. Bye.